We all know that music entertains us, but there's so much more to it than that. Music is what brings us together. It can inspire, motivate, and heal. And just sometimes, a song can say everything when we can't. I'm so excited to bring you these wonderful tunes and artist stories. I'm Stacy Newman, and this is More Than the Music. Hey guys, welcome to More Than the Music. Today we're going to be bringing you not one, but two really badass ladies. First up, we've got Elizabeth Cook. She's the host of Apron Strings on Sirius XM's Outlaw Country. She's also the owner of many vintage Pearl Snap shirts that I am so jealous of. Let's watch the interview. We are here at the Hush Lounge in Chattanooga, Tennessee with Elizabeth Cook. Elizabeth, it is so lovely to talk to you today.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about your latest album, Exodus of Venus.
I can tell you that I wrote the album, or at least the title track, Exodus of Venus, is a metaphor for a theory that I have that the book of Exodus in the Bible, you know, all this like horrible, wild stuff happens, right? That actually, they say there was an astrological event that was responsible for that, or astronomical event rather, and that Venus actually passed too close through the Earth's atmosphere and turned the waters red and caused a magnetic force that parted the seas and caused ash to fall on the ocean. So anyway, all that's like this metaphor for a love affair that is untimely and probably not gonna end well, but you're doing it anyway. That's sort of the story of Exodus of Venus.
Well, it's a perfect title considering everything that I've read you were going through in the time that between your last album and this one. I don't want to get too deep into it. I don't want to press you, but I mean, you went through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there were some knocks, just a series of deaths in the family, you know, like 5 in a row, and then there was a fire and a couple of divorces, and only one of them was mine, not both of them. But, you know, my family has a tradition also of just pressing through with a lot of resilience and humor and love, and, you know, that's what we've done. I grew up in a musical family, and I kind of have a love-hate relationship with music because my daddy had played like upright bass in the prison band, and my mother was like a bona fide hillbilly singer that was really extremely talented singer-songwriter from Charleston, West Virginia. And when they got together, it was later in life, and they had each had 5 children by previous marriages, and they had me by accident. Mother was 42, daddy was 48, and they formed a little honky-tonk band right around that time. And they had a lot of things they were working through at that point in their life, and both been through a lot. So they just sort of took me along, and I think that it wasn't maybe always age appropriate for me to be in a lot of the places that I was in, and it gave me a not good relationship with music, because when I would hear a band strike up, or even it took me years to get to a venue, and the smell of sound check would make me nauseous, because I would smell the pine sol and the beer and the old cigarette smoke, and it just would take me back to being a child in bars where my parents' bands were playing, and it was, you know, chaos and drunk people and fist fights and stuff like that. So I didn't have a great relationship with music. My relationship with music now is definitely reinvented, but that's been a slow, long process, because then there's the part of it, and because I came to really getting serious about it relatively late. I played and I sang and I wrote a little bit through high school and college and all those things. But when you first start out, you're not very good at it, and that's torturous. Except for some artists that I know that are complete. I say there's 2 types of artists. There's tortured and delusional. The delusional ones, and I think that's more fun. I think I'm the more tortured one. But the delusional ones just like think they're great out, and that's the kind of a beautiful headspace to be in. But I was not that, and I really was very self-loathing. But now I have some moments where I thought, well, that wasn't terrible. So, and I actually enjoy it. And getting to the community that I have in East Nashville and with friends, and even in LA and around the country, of other musicians that play and write. I mean, they're my second family, and it's a beautiful family to be in, because it's just a lot of really deep souls. So it's definitely redefined over the years, but it's taken a long time. And I mean, I think my relationship with it now is definitely more personal, because when I was little and doing it, because when my parents, and when I got old enough, they started having me sing with their band. So I was in the band, and I was just a kid. I was just a puppet. You know, I was like, these people give me food and like make sure I don't die. So, and they want me to sing the St. William song, so I guess I'll do that. You know, it wasn't like I was convicted to be on stage and perform. I was not that kid at all. So it was just something that I did, like the way that people take their small kids and let them run around on a soccer field, you know. So it's taken a long time for me to really get my own relationship with music. It was always via kind of the family activity that I was associated with it. So now, though, that I do it, my relationship with it is personal. And then there's the business side of it that takes that and, you know, out into the world. But what I'm sharing is, you know, definitely my deepest, darkest corners of my thoughts. I don't know how else to write. So
I like that it's darker. Not that I didn't enjoy your other ones as well, but I can see the other ones being, you know, I constantly see that you're compared to Dolly and Loretta. I mean, it's obviously awesome to be compared to them, but this one kind of gave me like a Tori Amos, like.
I was listening to her on the way to Chattanooga too. Awesome. Yeah, I was listening to Big Wheel. I'm so obsessed with that song and obsessed with her. She just played the Ryman too recently, and I missed it.
Love to be.
I know. I really wanted to see it. I didn't know about it until I like saw a bunch of friends like Instagramming from there. I was like, what the hell? Anyway, I miss Tori Amos at the Ryman. But yeah, you know, I've always had, you know, that a brooding side too. But I think you know, coming up as a younger woman. You know, I was a good girl and the smiley blonde cheerleader girl, and that was always my demeanor and my outlook. And then, you know, I got a few knocks. There weren't a lot of chinks in my armor at that point, but you know, I got a few knocks, like happens in life if you're lucky to live long enough. And yeah, I think it just informed a darker time, and that led to a darker album. And my first publisher told me that I instinctively was writing to heal myself. That is my MO when I'm writing, whether I knew it or not, that I am healing myself. And I heard that recently about, you know, Tom Petty, that even like Wildflowers was totally about, he's singing to himself. So I think that, yeah, we're trying, at least for me as a songwriter, like I'm trying to heal and to process things. And then if it's good enough and musical enough, maybe other folks can relate to it, and then that helps them also share that experience.
Yeah, it's like a really wonderful group therapy.
People need music to, you know, funnel through all kinds of feelings and all kinds of moods and things that they need to process. So I like it that I have an album that touches on that part of people's needs.
All right, cool. Well, let's watch that. What are you listening to like right now?
I listen to a lot of rap and hip hop when I'm working out, so I listen to that. That's going on. There's a guy named Dan Reeder that is really interesting on John Prine's Old Boy label that has got a new record coming out that I'm excited about. I was listening to Tori Amos on the way down, some Patty Griffin on the way down. It's all over the place. And then I go running and it's me and 3-6 Mafia and Kendrick Lamar and, you know.
Do you have an all-time favorite record?
I just did a podcast on this, and you know, that again is something that moves around with me. I like different records at different periods and different times, but the record that I focused on that podcast was a Neil Young album called Zuma, that I love a lot. It has one of my favorite songs of all time on it called Cortese the Killer. I just think the mood and the twist of the mood and the guitar work and everything about it is just transcends music almost to me, and I love that record a lot. That and Tonight's the Night. I had a hard time picking between those two, but I'm a big Neil Young fan.
Do you have a favorite joke you want to tell us?
Yes. Okay. Because I love Jeannie Seely. I get to work on the Grand Ole Opry a good bit, and that's really a cool privilege. And so Jeannie Seely has the best blonde jokes. So there are two blondes, and one was on one side of this big old pond, and then the other one was on the other side. And she looked across at her and said, "Hey, how do I get to the other side?" And she said, "You are on the other side."
That's pretty good.
Pretty good. I like it. It was good, clean fun. That's what that was.
Yeah. Thanks so much for talking to us, Elizabeth.
You're welcome. Good to be here. Thank you for talking to me.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to More Than the Music. Next up, we've got Laura Cortese of Laura Cortese and the Dance Cards. She's a Berklee graduate with a debut album on Compass Records called California Calling. We're going to be showing you a really fun interview with her, so let's go check it out. We're at Compass Records with Laura Cortese, and she's got a new album coming out in October.
It's true.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
It's called California Calling. The band, the Dance Cards that I play with, it's Laura Cortese and the Dance Cards. It's our first release on Compass and our first release as that band. We've been working on it for the last couple of years. Fiddles, cello, upright bass, bunch of singing. And they're all songs, you know, about heartbreak and trying to find home and all the things that we struggle with as humans. It took me a little while to figure out like how to bring all the elements, the things I liked to listen to as a teenager growing up, and you know, the things I listened to as a little kid, like oldies and the fiddle music, and come up with personal expression.
We're going to be playing Low Hum on our special here, so can you tell us a little bit about it?
The Low Hum is the one song on the album that the whole band worked on together, co-wrote. Most of the songs on the album, either I write or I write with a friend and I bring to the band and we arrange, but this one we set out to like, what happens when we try to say something and we're really communal about it. And so there's banjo on the track because one of the girls wanted, she's like, I want to play the banjo, not just in secret anymore. And we kind of just all talked about what was going on in our lives. And it's interesting, at the time we were staying at some friend's house and we actually just broke their key in their door. And we were staying there without them. We had to like call the locksmith. And we decided to sort of take that exact specific, you know, image and share that as a little bit of a, you know, metaphor for things that you can feel when you're sort of like pushing forward and feeling like you're breaking, and that there's this kind of like, sometimes you feel like there's a bit of an undercurrent, and like even in your happiest days, maybe you can still connect with some of the tragedies of your life, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. A woman who pledged for the album and, you know, got to hear it a little bit ahead of time. The first day she listened to it, she immediately wrote to me, and she lost her husband a couple of years ago, and she was like, it's like you wrote the song for my life. I have a very joyful life. My children are beautiful. I'm doing everything I want to do, but there's always this low hum of remembering the great times you had with that person. And so I you know, that's kind of what we were trying to get at, and I think we got there. I hope we got there.
I think you did. Let's take a look.
before the end. Shine the light of dawning. Dreams are just pieces in your head. The low hum. The low hum. The low hum. The low hum. When your heart is broken, sometimes you forget till the ache wraps around you, pulls you to pieces in your bed. The low hum. 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 The low
Who would you say your major influences are musically?
If I put it in like a few categories, obviously I play the fiddle. And so this is the biggest difference between me and anyone else in their influences, that I'm not like, oh, there's a sweet guitar riff. I'm like, how do I play that riff that I want to play on the fiddle? And so often I end up strumming. That's obviously a huge influence. All these amazing folk and roots fiddle players that I grew up listening to from Scotland, the US, and Scandinavia. Then you have like sort of the world of the voice, and it's everything from Otis Redding to Bono of U2, and you know, I love Fleetwood Mac. There's a lot of this sort of more oldies and into the early like alternative. Also for me, just bands that were capturing sort of more exploratory sonic ideas. I remember the first time that I heard Feist's Mushaboom on the river in Boston. I was like driving in my car, and I think like, you know, Britney Spears was like the biggest thing at the time. And I was like, oh my God, music's not gonna suck anymore. Like I just remember being so excited with the different sounds. So that kind of exploratory ethos.
Do you have an all-time favorite record?
You know, I don't know if I have an all-time favorite record, but the like actual vinyl record that I go to the most on my turntable is Band on the Run. I guess it's technically Paul McCartney solo. It's even though it's like got members of Wings or something in it. But it's like time and time again I go back to that album just because it doesn't play by the rules of music today. Like any album today, like you listen to it and it really has to like hang together. But this goes on incredible journeys within one song, much less from track to track. So.
Laura, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with the new record.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us, you guys. Hope you had as much fun as we did. Be sure to check out Laura Cortese and Elizabeth Cook online and look us up on the socials. See you next week.